I did watch Scott Aguma video for one of his video where he posts about the money where federal government they share to states, and in that video he mentioned something really very interesting where he say I feel say they're worthy of addressing. So in talk say the government they share a call out the billion trillion, maybe the money where he call they be the main thing make me they make this video. But he mentioned there saying that the governors be the problem of Nigeria. Say Nigerians they pay attention only to the president and nobody they look at what the governors they do. So saying that the governors are actually the ones causing the problem in Nigeria. Well, a week before or a couple of days before that video, I saw one video where President Tinubu they give interview. I don't know how recent that video they be. In that video, President Tinubu they mentioned the same thing. They were saying that the states are there, that the governors are getting even double of the money that they get before. They get more money than any other time in the history of Nigeria. So my take is that I completely agree with the president on this. I completely agree. And while I completely agree with the president, I don't really agree 100% with Scott Aguma. And that only on that part, because he said the governors are the problem. Now, while I agree that the governors are the problem of the problem, the governors are not only the problem. They are part of the problem rather than only the problem. The governors are part of the problem. And again, President Tinubu, our president, the governors, yes, they get double money as he talk, which he said people should also look at what the governors are doing. Agreed on that part. We have to pay attention to the governors because the country is a federal system and is made up of 36 states. And also, the President Tinubu is right. We have to pay attention to the governors as well. We have to pay attention to the governor as well. However, whether you agree with the president or not is not the question here. The question is, should people pay more attention to the governors, which I agree with 100%, 1,000,000%. We should pay attention to the governors. The governors are part of the big problem in the country, because they have the power. The states are federal states. They are federal system of government, which means each state in Nigeria is like a country. So the governors, they get power to convert the state. I don't talk about one of my video in the past that the governors can make, if in fact, apart from the money where federal government they share to the governors, the money, the IGR they get can be tripled, even quadrupled or tenfold, whatever you want to call it, tenfold, if they want to, because they have the land, they have the resources, they have the call, they can make anything. In fact, the governors can make money. Each government in Nigeria, each state in Nigeria have resources enough to make even to convert their state to 200 to 500 billion economy if they really want to do so, because they have the resources, but they are not doing it. One problem I have with this whole thing is that while the president have no constitutional power, presidents have no constitutional power to question the spending of the governors. The government have no constitutional powers to tell the governors how they are supposed to do it, right? But the government have power to use all federal institutions, such as federal investigative institutions, enforcement institutions like EFCC, or whatever they call the other one, all of them, police, or all those who say their work now to investigate and see who they steal money and who they waste the money. The president to use those people to investigate any governor and to call out anyone when they do their work. The president get that power to use those institutions to do so. And the government also gets some kind of power to, put pressure, because now they share the federal allocation. Now government and president, they share them. So you get power to use money to them. You get power to put some kind of pressure in that area. If you put some kind of pressure there and the governor will behave well, because say if I don't do well, this man not go send me this money, I got to do this. Even maybe if the person they perform 10% before, go perform 50%. So the government get that power. Now, the biggest power of the president is what I want to talk about. But I'm not a fan of Tinubu for obvious reasons. And I will tell you guys why. The reason why I'm not a fan of Tinubu is because if you look at the state of Nigeria, let's start from what they happen for Africa at large. So we look at what's happening in Africa and around the world. With the enormous amount of contributions where Nigerians they make around the world. Think about the things where Nigerians they do, whether not for education, whether not for work, or anything. Just think about it. All the wonderful contributions where Nigerians they make around the world. Yet, everywhere around the many countries, they chase Nigerians. Why? And our president know the fit talk. Our leaders know the fit talk. Why do you think that is? They chase them for Ghana. Did they chase them for South Africa? Did they chase them for places where no even reach Nigeria? Why? Because we have nobody to speak for the people. We don't really get government if you beat their chest. Do you think? Tell me. You know how it is that country go do something, they say, okay, their president has spoken, people go to shake. I need you make you answer me, you will be Nigerian. Can this current government, or even the one we get before this one, really come out, can't speak to any country, make the country keep quiet, listen? What is your thought? I get your thought is as good as mine, right? So that's why if you look at all those contributions and then yet we still resort to being ridiculed everywhere around the world, you know, you go understand what I mean. For there to be a tangible change, so we need person who say people don't go feel blackmail and with him past record or past life to be able to reclaim the image of Nigeria. So whereby every Nigerians are encouraged to behave well, we need this stuff can be influenced from top, which means if we elect somebody who is clean, and we're not looking at tribe, language, religion, in the process, we elect somebody who is clean. I don't care where the person come from, but somebody who can be able to speak for us, not just because he's able to speak English, but because he get a record where stand out. Somebody who is astute, somebody who we sure say nobody go feel blackmail him. Then all this nonsense will stop. Then we can begin to reclaim our place in the community of nation. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And this is my problem with this current government. Okay? So whoever think differently should think well before, he think that, okay, I'm just saying this for talking sake. At the end of the day, I'm also one of Nigerians who is faced with the ridicule, every day that you have to feel when you go out somewhere, even when you do outstanding, even when say you never do anything bad, but the effect of not just waiting the people on the bottom they do, but waiting even the record of the people at the top, it's nothing to write home about. Is it the one of a Senate president who have to force a fellow member to be kicked out of Senate? Is that the record? Is this the image we want people to see about us? They don't like what somebody say, they get kicked out. There's no rule of law. There's nothing where they happen where we say that they follow any rule. It's just, you do this, get out, because you have the power and you have the money because you are in government office. So these things are important to influence leadership and to influence direction of the country. That's exactly what I'm saying. And we have to get it right. We have to get it right in that area. That's the only problem I have with this government at the minute. The government is not prudent in spending. The government is not clean record-wise, both internationally and locally. The election process that brought even the current government is not the best. I don't care what anybody says about it, but it's not the best. So we have to do better, not just as the president. So that's why it's not just president. We have to do better across board, and we will do better to choose people who are worthy of representing us if we want to change, if we really want to redeem our image. Right? So If you consider the way people they deal with us as Nigerians, the way people deal with people, say yeah, Nigeria. Sometimes I go to place, say, where are you coming from? You say Nigerian. You know already their reaction. It's coming from the umpire, which is the people they lead our country. Let me tell you, even though our society, they said the leader is a reflection of the society, which means if what we elect to office, na person will be say integrity no good. We all know that no need to paint them. We know the record of our president. So if this is what is said about our president, now what we elect, what do you think they will think of us? Everyone will think that we are also that way because the president is a reflection of us. So the onus is on us to elect person where we say a distinguished Nigerian. This is why I said, if Nigeria must progress, to go back to why I said I'm not a fan of Tinubu, is that I believe that if Nigeria have to take its place in the committee of nations, if Nigeria has to be respected, if Nigeria would have to reclaim its position, we need to do so with somebody where they distinguished. We need a distinguished leader that you cannot intimidate with their past. You cannot intimidate them with the crime where they don't commit before, because all those things are things where person go throw at your face when they won't make you not get something, and then you lose out. The same thing, in the same vein, this is why it is difficult for our president today to be able to even call the governor to order. Are you telling a governor to make you not spend money where they use the money go buy vest, go give Senate so that they go vote you for next election? Are you going to tell governor say, oh, this is the way they do in the bad, if you are doing the same? So this is the problem. Before you can be able to speak to people, you need somebody. If Nigeria must succeed, the leader has to have that, has to be a role model. The person needs to be role model. It has to be a distinguished Nigerian. So because if the person is a distinguished Nigerian, will be our president. Imagine I'm saying our president not get any blemish, you not get anything where stay now. No record here and there. A clean guy in that way. And our president know they carry our money, they buy jet where we no need. They buy cruise ship where we no need. You know, spending the money or being paying. Imagine that our president come into office, for instance, can say salary we know they take. Since he has the power to persuade the Senate to do anything they want to do, why don't he persuade the Senate to say, we cancel salary of Senate and House of Rep, that henceforth, professors in the university and senators will be earning the same thing. Bring down the salary to say 1,000 euro, for instance. Yeah, bring down the salary to say 1,000 euro. Say senators will know they buy you car. If you want to be a senator, you go use your car. We know they give you any house. If you know this is a civil service work, you go use your house. Would they pay you, maybe say, let's say, realistically, say would they pay you 1.5 million naira? Because you can't be in Nigeria and be calling, say, they pay senator in dollar. 1.5 million naira for everything included. Why can't the president persuade the Senate to do that? Pass the law, sign them. Make me not say, being a Senate now, or being a what's it called, president or whatever, is a charity work, is a service, because especially with the level where Nigeria they now money no day. If the president is really out to distinguish, let's say even change the narratives. I know a president have done it in the past. He went to jail and came back. The past president of Uruguay, his salary na $12,000. He withdrew only 1,000 and gave the 11,000 back to using for building the country. That's what a leader does when he wants set example. So imagine if our president is doing that, then he can be able to speak to the governors. So it will not be, you're not going to, you will not need, most times what the president need or a leader is not political power to make people to change. There's something called reference power. You know, there's something called reference power, which means you use the power to say people, they look up to you because they're looking up to you, the model, the standard you set. If you tell them something, they will do it. That's what reference power refers to. So because of the way if you talk to the governors, they will listen and the country will change. So that's why I'm not a fan of our president, and that's why I believe totally that the president that will be able to speak to the governor, speak to the Senate with authority, a president that can be able to call the governor and say, do this, they go do it for the masses. That president that will make that change has to be a president without blemish. I mean, that president need to be, he need be president wey no get, wey in table clean. To be a distinguished president. The president who leads by example, which means no wasting of the people money. A president with a heart of service. Okay. And then he can be able to speak to the governor. So if the country must change for a distinguished president, and it is not too late, except our current president changes tomorrow and become distinguished and decide to say, okay, I'm going to live the rest of my life sacrificing for the, he doesn't need luxury. He has all the money privately on his own. So he needs to be seen putting every resources in building the people rather than trying to please political well-wishers. And that's the problem we have, my brothers and sisters. And before you go through this video and want to drop me a comment, think if Tinubu were to be an Igbo man, for instance, are you still going to support him? If Tinubu were to be an Hausa man, are you going to support what he's doing? I had a conversation, in closing, I'll tell you guys this. I had a conversation with a friend a couple of days ago. They talk about how Tinubu take almost every office in Nigeria and the Yoruba people there. While I disagree with that model of government, I told that my friend something. I said, why are you saying this now? When Buhari was in the office, the same thing happened in Nigeria. Every office in Nigeria, all of them were held by Hausa people. While I love my Hausa brothers and sisters, but that was the reality in Nigeria. The Hausa people, how many of them came out to condemn it? They didn't. Now, Tinubu is doing the same thing Buhari did, and they are angry, saying Buhari give the office. I told my friend what I would tell everybody who's listening or who watch this video. The last people who have opinion will not matter to me in Buhari's government is Hausa people. Especially, I'm not talking about the normal Hausa people like ourselves who are not participating in the government. I'm talking about the Hausa leaders who accepted the same bigotry, who accepted the same divisive leadership of Buhari. And now in the time of Tinubu, they now see that it's not correct. They have no opinion here. Every other tribe in Nigeria can say anything. Every other political tribe, and by tribe I mean political tribe in Nigeria, is allowed to comment on Tinubu government and say, oh, this man is running a divisive government. But every political leader from Hausa extract have no right to say it, except if such individual condemned the Buhari move. If you did not say it during Buhari time, don't say it in Tinubu's time. However, that is not to say that Tinubu is doing the right thing. I'm only saying that we have to learn to be fair. And we have to learn to speak when it matters to everybody, when especially when the life and the existence of our masses depend on it. It's not just only when it favors our tribe or when it favors our family. We have to speak so that posterity will remember us for being honest. So if we don't speak when we're supposed to speak, and we now want to speak when another person is in office, we have no right to do so and should shut up and don't say anything. And by this, I mean the political class, because the average Hausa man don't get anything to talk. Have no contribution. Average Igbo man have no contribution. Average Yoruba man have no. I'm talking about the political class. So anybody who want to quote my video, I'm talking about the political class. If you believe class and you saw nothing wrong with Buhari's government, you should not mention anything in Tinubu's government. That's what I'm saying. Let everybody who actually are enduring the pain should comment, not you who did not say it when you say. So maybe after this, we will not learn to behave well. That whether it is a fake man in presidency, whether it's an Ibibio man there, whether it's an Ijo man, whether it's an Igbo man, whether it's an Igede, a Kanu man, whether it's a Yoruba man, whoever is in the office, if something is not right, it's not right. And we have to speak up. That way our society will be better for it. That's my opinion. Thanks, guys.